Hey guys, let's start with new chapter of Loyal Pin Volume 2, Chapter 50, Anguish. Rumors about Lady Pelantita being a widow spread widely. The story has been distorted to where Lady Pelantita is sad that she fainted and lost consciousness during the conch water pouring ceremony when she heard that the child's father of that unknown woman was Lord Quackett. Nevertheless, the reality is in the opposite direction. Even though she felt very guilty, Velantita had to admit that her happiness index had skyrocketed from the moment the girl named Savitri appeared, especially when she saw Kunkua showing his true colors in just a few conversational sentences. Velantita was even more delighted that her situation was so accurate. Lord Kuakat, who was good as there was nothing bad in Auntie's eyes, there are many serious disadvantages hidden under a beautiful face. Therefore, the chaotic events that occurred at the event that day, when viewed through Pelantita's eyes, turned out to be just a scene from a drama that gave her more entertainment than any drama she had ever seen, especially when Lord Quackett was kneeling and weeping while putting his palms together to ask for another chance from Princess Padmika without shame. Princess Padmika would refuse at this point. Lady Pelantita just laughed with great satisfaction. After the events of that day, Pelantita also heard news that Lord Quackett had tried to approach the Vice Prince to get into the palace to meet her face to face with the excuse that he still had not had a chance to apologize to her, even just half a word, which the Vice Prince refused, not wishing to disobey the king's word that had been announced as a commandment. Such despicable behavior of Lord Quackett made Pilantita extremely relieved to be free from the young man finally, and even though the incident was quite shameful, Lady Pilantita didn't regret it at all. If this event saddens anyone, the person must surely be Princess Padmika, who bets everything on the brilliant external qualities of Lord Quackett. Princess Padmika fought bravely to break the spirit of her only niece, whom she had never wanted to force her heart before. Knowing well that Pilantita's heart was fragile, she also agreed to directly clash with Princess Anil without giving in, even though Princess Anil was considered a person she had always liked. The result turned out that the Princess Padmika had misjudged Lord Quackett. Moreover, it was utterly wrong, as if she mistook wrong for right. After the incident, Princess Padmika kept quiet and didn't go out to meet people for 3 days and 3 nights. Nevertheless, after that, Princess Padmika returned and made herself as normal as possible. She comes to observe and instruct the work of the kitchen at the front palace and have lunch with Princess Alisa as usual. Princess Alisa didn't talk to Princess Padmika about the matter that had passed. She did everything as usual, as if the engagement between Lord Quackett and Lady Pilantita had never happened before. The rumors continued to spread to the point where Lady Pilantita was sick with anguish. The story of Lady Pin being sick is true. Nevertheless, the cause came from the young woman's preoccupation with someone's return, even though it was already the fifth day after the incident. Pelantita still didn't even see the shadow of Princess Anil. Maybe it was because Pelantita was reckless and expected too much that if Princess Anil knew that her wedding stood invalid, she would be delighted and quickly return to her to reconcile their understanding. On the contrary, turned out that Princess Anil had paid no attention to this matter. Lady Pelantita further imagined that Princess Anil, who went to Hua Hin with her close friend, who had always had feelings for her, like Hunan, may make Princess Anil change her mind and leave her. When she wanders around in such thoughts until she refuses to sleep or eat, her body finally gets sick. Has Princess Anil returned from Hua Hin yet? Pelantita, lying sick in bed, asked Brick, who had brought a tray of rice porridge into her bedroom, the same question over and over for the upteenth time. Not yet, Lady Pen. Brick walked on her knees and sat next to Lady Pelantita's bed in concern, because she saw that Lady Pin's sweet face at this time was red, like a person with a high fever. Prick heard from the Grand Prince that Princess Anil had planned to return a few days ago. Nevertheless, a storm hit Hua Hin, raining and road was torn, so the return day was postponed for several days. Lady Pen, in any case, she should arrive this evening. It might just be an excuse, Plantita said, closing her eyes in exhaustion. Hua Hin probably has many more interesting things than here. Lady Pen, please eat some porridge so you can take the medicine after meals, as the doctor ordered. Prick avoided the conversation as far from Hua Hin as possible, but the lady closed her eyes and stubbornly shook her head before lying down with her back. She turned to Prick as if telling Prick to leave her room. Prick sighed in exhaustion for the 2 days that she was sick. Lady Pen was bedridden and refused to eat or take medicine until both Princess Padmika and Prick didn't know how to solve the problem together, especially Princess Padmika. When she saw her niece fall ill with symptoms like she was heartbroken, the more she thought of blaming herself, then the events of that day had embarrassed Pelantita to the point of falling ill. Prick, please leave. I want to rest. Pelantita's voice was quite dry and dispassionate. Oh, Lady Pin, please eat a little. If not, when will you get well? Put it there. If I'm hungry, I'll get up and eat myself. Then you should leave. Don't make me chase you. My lady, Prick called before walking to open the room door in desperation. Nevertheless, as soon as she left the room, she found that the owner of the tall and elegant body was standing, arms crossed in front of the room, thinking, Princess. Shh! The princess used her index finger to touch her lips to prohibit Prick from making such a loud noise with such joy. Only then a clever girl like Prick immediately lowered her voice to whisper, You came back faster than the Grand Prince said. At first, I thought that you would return in the evening. I won't be able to return in the evening, Princess Anil said with a sigh. My heart's very restless. It's good that you have returned. Lady Pen is being stubborn right now. How stubborn? Princess Anil raised her brow, wondering. I heard Auntie Pet informing me that she was sick. It is quite strange that today Auntie came to pick me up in the front of Pine Palace. Princess Padmika probably may have expectation for you, just like me, because Lady Pen has not been willing to eat or take medicine for the past 2 days, my lady. Oh, and have you prepared food and medicine yet? It's already prepared. I put it in the room. Lady Pen told me she'd get up and eat it when hungry. Yesterday evening, she also said this, but the food didn't go down. Also, she refused to take the medicine. No matter how I put it, it still stays like that. Did she anguish about Kunkwa? Princess Anil spoke as she looked at Lady Palantita's closed bedroom door with a sight that was hard to read. No, not at all. Khunkua's story is very satisfying to her. Why will it cause her to become ill? Prick scratched her lips like she did whenever she had to say something she shouldn't have said until Princess Anil had to give her permission. Please tell me. Lady Pen is sick because she was waiting for you to return from Hua Hin. She asked and asked again. I could only answer that. I don't know. I don't know. Are you sure? Princess Anil's eyes lit up as soon as she heard that. It's more than sure, my lady. Lady Pen is sick because she's been sitting looking out, waiting for you for many days. And you didn't go away alone. You went with Kunon. She's even more jealous. Shh! Please forgive me, my lady, Prick said, bowing her head. And how's Kunpin doing? Her body is hot and has a fever and gets irritated easily. Just a while ago, she chased Prick out of the room. Then, please prepare some warm water and towel to dry off for me. In the meantime, I will feed Kunpin the porridge for a while. Yes, my lady, Prick responded to Princess Anil's words before quickly walking down the stairs. Prick had been gone for a while, But Princess Anil stood before the room. Even though every past event Princess Anil had predicted because she had carefully placed the chess on the board. Nevertheless, suppose a vital player like Savitri doesn't move forward as Princess Anil indicated. In that case, Princess Anil's last chess, like the Grand Prince, will announce Lord Quacket's secret wife before the conch water pouring ceremony in front of everyone himself. Luckily, the story continues in the direction it was initially planned. Therefore, it didn't cause the Grand Prince to lower his honor to such an extent. Princess Anil sighed a long sigh to relief before opening the door to the room and closing it quietly. Kunpin's bedroom is still as warm and spacious as it was in 7 years ago. The white curtains on the windows, all around the room, fluttered in the wind. On the wide bed, a thin woman lay with her back to the door, as if wanting to leave everything behind. Princess Anil took the chair from Pilantita's writing desk and placed it next to the bed before sitting down. She crossed her legs and stared at the woman's back calmly. Kunpin, please eat porridge a little so you can take the medicine. When hearing the words that naturally didn't come from Pick, Pilantita's back instantly stiffened like a very kitten. Why couldn't she remember the owner of the sweet, soft voice, the person she had been waiting to meet these past few days? But still, Pilantita was lying there, with her back towards the door, for various reasons covered with pride. Princess Anil looked at Pilantita's thin back, with eyes mixed with various feelings, both missing and yearning with all her heart, and both were infinitely painful. Even though the story looked like it would end well, Princess Anil's heart contained unerasable feelings of deep resentment. I know that you are not asleep yet. Can you please turn around? Kunpen, it seemed like you want to be alone, so I might have to ask to leave first. Hearing this, Valandita immediately turned around without realizing. Seeing the beautiful face that she had always missed was missing like a sly person. Valandita's lips began to twist in displease. If you want to leave, please leave. Who forbids this? Valandita scowled before pretending to look another way. How can I return? Princess Anil said, reaching out to touch Pilantita's rounded forehead with great concern. Your forehead is very hot. Please, leave me alone. Pilantita raised her large doe eyes to meet Princess Anil's eyes, filled with sorrow. Just like you have done to me all these months. Kunpin, could you not criticize me like that? Princess Anil ran her hand from Pilantita's forehead down to her cheek. She continued to the slender neck, thin shoulders, and forearms before tightly clasping her 5 fingers into Lady Pin's tiny hands. A person like me who can't give up hasn't many options. Or do I have no right to be angry? Princess Anna's voice at this time sounded so sorrowful, which made Pilantita's heart ache. Don't forget that I also have a heart, have flesh and blood, just like anyone else. Every time I saw your face, I was so hurt that I thought I was going to die. That's why you chased me out of sight, right? Pilantita's clear tears fell silently. Princess Anil then picked up her handkerchief to wipe her tears away from the tearful young woman on the bed in a very gentle manner. That day it was necessary to expel you because I was very hurt and really disappointed. Disappointed? You are disappointed with me about what? Disappointed that you acted as if I was your secret lover, Princess Anil said, reaching up and brushing Pilantita's hair and tucking it behind her ear in a very loving manner. I am disappointed you answered my question about the wedding with Kunkua and have him to stay in this palace because you still wanted to see me every day. Why don't you think that if I had to see you with Kunkua every day, how would I feel? I'm very selfish. At this time, Valentita slowly grabbed Princess Anil's hand and hugged it tightly to the center of her chest. Can you please forgive me? I have forgiven you for a long time, but I still feel neglected. I don't know what to do. Then, from now on, I will compensate you with everything, Velantata said as she raised Princess Anil's hand that she was hugging to her cheek in a pleading gesture. How do you compensate? Princess Anil smiled. Compensate by spoiling you in every matter. Compensated by the fact that I will never choose the path that separates us from having to walk on different paths again. Kunpen, do you mean this? Her dark eyes looked at Lantita's face expectantly. I mean it. Velantita accepted the word before lifting Princess Anil's hand to kiss it affectionately. Then, let's start by eating porridge, shall we? Princess Anil said with a smile. Kunpin, just let go of my hand and let me feed you. Velantita's lips cooed into a wave. Nevertheless, in the end, she agreed to let Princess Anil's hand free. Princess Anil was able to successfully start feeding porridge to the stubborn woman in front of her. Still, it took a long time of induction and deception before Pilantita was willing to accept each bite. I will have one bite of porridge only when you answer one question from me. Pilantita negotiates like a person who has advantage. All right, just ask. Princess Anil spoke while scooping rice porridge and blowing it to relieve the heat with an attentive gesture. Is the Hua Sea white at this time? Pilantita asked in a voice filled with many parts of oppression, making Princess Anil clear her throat, as if something was stuck, not expecting that Lady Pin's question would come out like this. It's not white, Princess Anil said, giggling, but it's clear. Anil? Lady Pin's face frowned, while Princess Anil only smiled a little, looking as if she didn't know what was going on. Kunpin, don't break your promise. You said that if I answered one question, you would be willing to eat one bite of rice. Princess Anil held the spoon close to Pilantita's lips, opening her mouth to encourage her as if feeding a child. Ah, when being cornered in every way like that, Pilantita reluctantly had to eat a big bite of rice porridge. What is the next question? Princess Anil had begun to enjoy this game. The night Chongfa went to stay at the Pine Palace, which room did she sleep in? Pilantita's clear brown eyes now seemed to be starting to turn surly in an impossible way. Well, she slept in the guest room. Ah, at this time, Princess Anil fed rice continuously, strictly following the practice of one question in one bite of rice. Then why did she leave your bedroom when I arrived? Lady Pilantita scowled. She just stopped by to say goodbye to me. She has an errand to go out with mother early in the morning. Ah, at this question and that question kept going on, as Lady Pen had so many things. She wandered about. Soon the bowl of rice porridge significantly reduced. One more bite, the bowl is almost finished. If I eat the entire bowl, will you stay with me? The large eyes, tired from fever, stared at Princess Anil's beautiful face with such sweet pleading. I will. I will be here all night. Are you telling the truth? Don't lie to make me happy. Pilantita raised her tiny hand and shook Princess Anil's knee with the same gesture as a girl who had gotten a toy she liked. And will Auntie be angry? She won't, I asked her already. Hearing this, Pilantita lightly smiled. She readily accepted the last bite of porridge obediently. Princess Anil was able to give pills after meals to Pilantita. After Pilantita had taken the medicine for a few minutes, Prick knocked on the room door before opening it and came in after Princess Anil permitted it. She came with a suitable sized glass basin and a small white towel. Princess Anil nodded and asked Prick to place it on the reading table before waving her hand as a signal for Prick to leave the room. with the tray of porridge that was now empty. Rick saw this and couldn't help but speak in a muttered voice. You are so brilliant! Princess Anil smiled before waving her hand and once more to chase Prick away. Prick agreed to leave with the same strange limp gesture as always. Let's wipe you first so you can lie down comfortably. Princess Anil spoke after she walked to close the door before locking it firmly. Meanwhile, Lady Pilantita's face turned even redder than before. I can wipe myself off. You don't have to face difficulty. Princess Anil smiled as she could read the mind of the person in front of her so clearly. I don't see it being difficult at all. Princess Anil sat on the bed next to Pilantita, who at this time only acted to look at a large pillow beside her. Princess Anil smiled as she reached out and unbuttoned the buttons of Lady Pin's shirt one by one. Lady Pin kept biting her lips and holding her breath like a shy person who didn't know how to act. When Princess Anil removed the upper part of the garment, she began soaking the towel with warm water mixed with scented water, then squeezed the towel until it was dry before gently dabbing Pilantita's body, starting from her rounded forehead, soft cheeks, long, slender neck, and slim, smooth, clear shoulders, before moving on to her breasts, where Princess Anil had to hold her breath. Princess Anil's gentle and caring touch made Pilantita bite her lip in restraint. Princess Anil kept dragging the towel around Lady Pin's beautiful breasts for a while. The caressing changed onto a fondle until Pilantita unconsciously used her hand to squeeze Princess Anil's hand. Princess Anil then changed to dragging the cloth down Lady Pilantita's flat stomach, which tightened, avoiding warm touch of both the fabric and Princess Anil's hot hands. When wiping the body up to this point, Princess Anil gave a sweet smile to the person in front of her, whose face was now red. She used her lips to glide on her forehead and cheeks before gently kissing the top of Lady Pin's breast with great care. You are not hot anymore. Also, smells good too. Is this how you measure the temperature? Yes, Princess Anil spoke, giggling while Pilantita bit her lip shyly. Princess Anil moistened the cloth before wringing it out again, before moving it to overlap at the back of Pilantita. She carefully touched and wiped Lady Pin's delicate back with a soft, gentle touch. It was to blame for the late afternoon sunlight that filtered through the curtains and bathed the lady's bare back in a golden hue, looking as beautiful as a masterpiece of sculpture. Princess Anil couldn't restrain her heart any longer. She passionately kissed Pilantita's smooth shoulder before dragging her lips around her slender neck. Lady Pen raised her face, closed her eyes, and opened her mouth slightly, willingly accepting the warm, caressing touch. Princess Anil's right hand began to trail down her waist. It mischievously circled Pilantita's abdomen as her left hand tightly held on both of her beautiful breasts in her embrace. She caressed it with a soft, gentle weight, remaining calm. Anil, yes, I love, I love you. I love you too. Princess Anil's right hand, which was hovering around Lady Pin's abdomen, began to glide down before reaching in and spreading. She caressed the girl's wet spot while her lips nipped Kunpin's earlobe and then side of her neck infatuately. Lady Pilantita's body in Princess Anil's chest at this time was hot and trembling with pleasure. Her small hand caressed Princess Anil's arm without realizing it. She bit her lip until it nearly bruised, fearing that her auntie might hear her inarticulate moans. Princess Anil was so overconfident that she penetrated Lady Pin's body with slow, stimulating rhythms. Pilantita unconsciously moved her hips to follow every movement of Princess Anil. It didn't take long for Pilantita's thin body to twitch violently due to many factors. Whether it was that she had been abstaining for a long time, or even that it was their first time it had happened in Pilantita's bedroom, or even the fact that they both longed for each other so much. After the hot story had passed, Princess Anil started wiping Pilantita's lower body with a towel, not wiping with her own body like before. Lady Pin was so embarrassed that she took another pillow and covered her face to avoid the truth, while Princess Anil carefully wiped and dabbed everything clean. Finally, finish cleaning your body. It only takes a moment. Princess Anil spoke after carefully dressing Pilantita in new clothes. Anil, yes, I'm shy and I'm embarrassed. Anil, please don't tease me like that, okay? Pilantita said pleadingly in a faint voice. Yes, no more teasing, Princess Anil said, giggling. Hearing this, Pilantita spread her arms wide to demand an embrace from Princess Anil. And when she received that embrace, Pilantita stole a significant kiss from Princess Anil's clear cheeks. I won't disturb you more. Princess Anil, who at this time is over Pilantita's body, spoke as she reached out her hand to caress the hair of the person beneath her affectionately. Kunpin, please take a nap. I don't want to sleep at all, Pilantita said, tightening her embrace towards Princess Anil even more. I'm afraid that when I wake up, I will find out I was just dreaming. I couldn't believe that the story in front of me right now, which made me so happy, is real. I'm afraid that when I wake up, I won't be able to see you again. I'm afraid that you will disappear, as I had recurring nightmares. Princess Anil heard Pilantita's sensitive conversation like that, but bent down and lovingly kissed the sweaty forehead of the person in front of her before placing a light kiss on Pilantita's lips again, as if wanting to make a promise. I will never disappear again, Princess Anil spoke, slowly moving her body to lie on Lady Pilantita's back. I promise, when you wake up, there will always be me hugging you like this and not going anywhere. Princess Anil reached out and touched Pilantita's flat stomach with a gentle touch before kissing the lady's neck again passionately. If you promise, Pilantita reached out and held Princess Anil's hand tightly. I will believe you. By the way, by the way, what? Anil once said that you would go to England and never come back. Pilantita's voice became depressed as she mentioned a story that she never wanted to think about. I am not going anymore. To be able to sleep and hug you like this, no matter how often you chase me away, I won't go. Princess Anil spoke with a smile. I'm sorry for threatening you like that. You might have been very angry at me. Pilantita raised her hand on Princess Anil's hand with an absent mind. I never fought for you. Who said that? Princess Anil placed a very loving kiss on the white shoulder of the person in her arms. Just that you didn't fall apart from all the events you had to go through, that alone is considered to have fought for me. Khunpan is still Auntie's Pat's good niece, a lover who sacrifices yourself without letting me suffer even more. For how many days in Hua Hin, I had the opportunity to think and understand that everyone has their reasons. Hearing Princess Anil's words, Pilantita turned and buried her face in her chest, pleading, Anil, please know that from now on, I won't choose a choice to separate us from each other again. Princess Anil responded to Pilantita's words by tightening her embrace even more. By the way, Anil, what else this time? Princess Anil spoke, giggling. Is it okay for you to sleep and hug me? Why? Why can't I sleep and hug you? I'm afraid that you will catch a fever. Then you don't have to worry about me. As if infected with a fever, I must have infected myself when I wiped myself with you a while ago. That's it for this chapter, guys, and I see you next with chapter 51. And thanks a lot for all the support and all the love from you guys. Keep supporting and loving. Bye bye.